Okay, I'll be the first to admit it. I had a little bit of developer bias going through my head when I purchased this game. Not only is Halfbrick's headquarters based in my hometown, but Fish Out of Water falls into the skill toss genre of games, where you need to propel an object, or animal, or something as far as you can. This type of game is one of my all-time favourite time wasters. Needless to say, I was a little bit excited. Well, it's definitely got the Halfbrick level of polish, no doubt about it, this game is gorgeous. So it should stand to reason then that Fish Out of Water would fit neatly into Halfbrick's immaculate library of fluid, responsive, addictive games. There's only one minor problem. There's not much of a game here. Fish Out of Water is about flinging fish. I'd like to say that it's a deep experience that provides seemingly endless hours of gameplay, but that's simply not true. After about half an hour of playing, I'd attained close to the highest score possible. The player is tasked with flinging one of 6 sea creatures as far as they can. As they travel along, their angle determines the amount of bounce they get from the water, much like skimming stones across a pond. When you come to a stop, your distance and the number of skips is tallied. This is repeated 2 more times to give you a grand total. Your score is then judged by 5 crabs. Each will give you a score out of 10, and the average of these scores is your final result. Each of the crabs has a unique mood and judges accordingly. Some judge favourably based on the number of skips, some for distance. My personal favourite though has to be Hard to Please Hardwood. He's a cranky guy who generally scores fairly low on all but the most outstanding performances. Now there's a little bit of strategy in finding the right balance of skips and distance, and this is done by utilising the unique talents of each fish. Some, like the whale and pufferfish, excel at bouncing across the surface of the water. These guys tend to be more forgiving when the angle of descent is higher. Other fish, like the red dart, focus on speed and need to be thrown at a low angle to be able to skim across the surface. If this guy in particular is thrown too high, he'll break straight through the water's surface and sink to the bottom. There's a subtlety to each species, but you'll pick these up in no time. To mix things up a little bit, the weather changes on the hour. Your fish perform differently depending on the weather conditions. If it's raining heavily, your fish will have a hard time maintaining momentum. If it's freezing, there'll be tiny icebergs that the fish can bounce off. These weather conditions are synchronized around the world, so it's fair for all players. On that subject, players are able to form or join leagues. These allow you to team up with your friends and compete for the highest score. While you're playing the game, you'll see scores from other players from around the globe appear in the top left corner of your screen. It's a nice touch that gives you something to work towards. Unfortunately, this high score system is the only positively reinforced method of progression. Fish Out of Water does contain a leveling system, but this serves as nothing more than an intermittent way of awarding gems to the player. All of the fish are unlocked from the start, and there's no persistent upgrade path for any of the game's mechanics. This permanent stat system is the very thing that makes this type of game addictive, and it's completely lacking here. The aforementioned gems that are awarded allow the player to tweak the outcome of an individual run. This is done by matching head and tail pieces of varying colours. Each colour corresponds to the strengths of the fish of that colour. Red for speed, blue for skips, etc. You can mix and match these gems to provide boosts of differing strength and function. A pair of black gems, the rarest of them all, will provide you with a single fling of a gemmed fish. This guy splits into 3 when it hits the surface of the water and will continue a great distance. Even in imperfect weather, this little guy can easily net the player a perfect 10. When it's all said and done, Fish Out of Water is okay. It's immensely polished and looks amazing. Unfortunately, Halfbrick have dropped the ball in the design department. There's simply not enough game here for me to feel positive about my purchase. Now in saying that, most mobile titles aren't at their best when they're first released. Constant updates and, especially in the case of Halfbrick, community engagement, help to mould these titles into the smash hits we see at the top of the App Store charts. Now I'm perfectly happy to support Halfbrick by purchasing the game, and stay hopeful that updates will see the game improve. For now though, I am quite disappointed by Fish Out of Water. Thanks for joining me for today's review. Remember to subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest mobile games. This has been Alex for Game Mob, that's www.gamemob.com.